He's Ray the video guy, yeah, Ray the video guy. His skill is where it's at, even if he's a little fat. He's filled with video expertise and has so much knowledge that you need. His YouTube ninja tricks can make your marketing so sick. He's Ray the video guy, yeah, Ray the video guy.
On this episode of Video Marketing Madness, we're going to discuss advanced techniques for creating Facebook Live videos, and we'll discuss a few other things as well. And this episode, of course, is made possible by freevideoeditor.co. If you're looking for a free video editing program so you can do high-end editing, then check out freevideoeditor.co and download the Shotcut Video Editor, along with a few other goodies that we have planned for you. And with that, let's get this show on the road. Here's the song.
And now,
he's Ray the video guy, yeah, Ray the video guy. His skill is where it's at, even if he's a little fat. He's filled with video expertise and has so much knowledge that you need. His YouTube ninja tricks can make your marketing so sick. He's Ray the video guy, yeah, Ray the video guy.
it's the radio show about video marketing madness with Ray the Video Guy, and I'm Steve Sleeper. That's Ray on the Show podcast network. I'm Steve. Facebook page, Twitter, we got them. Video, just Google Video Marketing Madness, Facebook or Twitter, and you'll find
everywhere.
A lot of good stuff. Can I do this now? Can I do it?
Do what? Oh, yes. Well,
Holy
it's an exciting day.
Cubs win.
Yes, the Cubs did win. Obviously, we're going to date ourselves with this podcast by talking about it, but the Cubs did win the World Series finally after all these years. Now, I have to admit, I was kind of partial to getting the Red Sox in there one more time, but
well, sure.
If they can't do it, well, then I guess it's good that the Cubs were able to. Which I got to be honest with you, I didn't think they were going to do it. I thought Cleveland was going to take them out pretty easily, and no, that was not the case. They were able to hang in there with the tough team and battle it out and take that crown. So that's good for them. Happy days in Chicago. And speaking of that,
I proposed to my wife at Wrigley Field.
Nice. What did you propose to her?
1986. Nice. Marriage.
Marriage. There you go. Beautiful. Well, it's a great old park. We love those, Fenway and Wrigley and all those other old parks. Most of them are gone nowadays, but at least we still got a few of them left, and hopefully they stick around because they are true landmarks. Even if they're not the greatest facilities to see a game in, they are definitely landmarks without a doubt.
I understand that. Now, Wrigley, it's a little bit uncomfortable because people were smaller in 1914.
Yes,
but I could do okay, and I'm kind of a wide body. I understand Fenway though is pretty uncomfortable.
Oh yes, it's a nightmare. It's a great place, but it's an absolute nightmare. No doubt about that.
Yeah.
But of course, we're not here to talk about baseball. We're here to talk about video marketing. And actually, before we get into the meat of today, Steve, YouTube has added a new feature.
Oh, end screens, yeah.
Yes. And, my commentary on it is both good and bad. I love the new feature, and it proves that annotations definitely can work on mobile, yet for some reason, traditional annotations still do not. The end screens do, however. They're basically the same thing as annotations, and they work on mobile, but yet the traditional annotations still do not. So I don't understand why they haven't done that. But hopefully this is a step in that direction, mostly because cards are not working the way that they hoped, I don't think. They're good, they're interesting. I've even had some people that talk about huge successes with them, but they're not quite doing what people would have expected. And I think part of that's just YouTube hasn't really gotten that education out there on how to use them. And I think that's the big problem. So,
Okay. Yeah.
There you go. But if you haven't checked it out, check it out. End screens. It's in the annotations area. When you go into annotations, you've now got two little tabs, one that says end screens, one that says annotations, and you're able to add basically an ending menu to your videos that allow you to go to other videos. You can link back to your website. You can also put a subscribe button right there. So at the end of your video, last 20 seconds, you can have this on there. So it's very cool. I would have liked, now I've only played with them a little bit so far. I would have liked to have a feature where the end screen went past the end of your video rather than on the end of your video. I think that's that would be nice. Obviously, you can make that for your videos. So if you create a video, you can put a 20-second, 15-second graphic on the end and then have the end screens pop up over that. But it would have been nice for existing videos that don't have that if you had the ability to kind of put an end screen at the end of the video rather than over the end of the video, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it does. And by the way, just before the program, I posted up an article from, is it Tubular Insights now? I don't know why they changed it from Real SEO.
I hate that. Well, somebody bought them, and then they changed the name, and I hate the new name. I wish they had stuck with the old one. So.
Real SEO was cool. But anyhow, they had a good article on end screens that I posted up on both our Facebook and Twitter. It's We're recording this show November 3rd, 2016, if you're looking for it. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
So check it out. Good stuff. The end screens, maybe we'll have to put together some videos and trainings on that because it is not only by itself is it a very cool product, but it has some great opportunities if you can take it beyond just what it is. There's some really cool things you can do with that on the editing end beforehand, etc., to really make it a pretty good thing. So, and by the way, Steve, we should probably double send this out here to folks. We are live on Facebook when we do this. So if you are watching right now, and I can see there's a bunch of people watching right now, I can see people commenting, or not commenting, but liking it. Throw out any comments you have on anything that we talk about, and we'll be glad to mention them on the show and discuss some of the things, because we are indeed live. It's not pretend. Of course, if you're listening to this as a podcast, well, then you'll have to comment on the actual iTunes page or elsewhere that we post the replay. But feel free during the live show to do that. And of course, in the future, if you're watching this as a podcast, feel free to follow us live so that you can jump in and comment live, because we would love to have that. We love interactivity. So,
speaking of Facebook Live.
And speaking of Facebook Live, yes, we're going to talk a little bit about Facebook Live. If you are watching this on Facebook, you'll notice that we're doing this podcast with video. So we've got what I call a CNN-style video interface with my live video and Steve's live video in two little boxes. We've got the news crawl down below and the date and time and all that kind of stuff on the screen. And we want to talk about how we do this, because a lot of people ask me all the time, how in the world are you doing this stuff on Facebook Live? Because most people are used to picking up your phone and just shooting a video with that. And that's great. It definitely has its purposes, and I wish I did it more. I need to start doing it more. But what we're doing is something a little bit different. We're actually broadcasting a full video of our webcams. We've got graphics. We've got all that kind of stuff. And we want to talk about how we can do that so you can really make professional-looking Facebook Live videos. And the way that we do that is actually there's kind of a multi answer to how that's done. But the basic idea behind it is you need a software that will stream out video, and then you need to connect that software to Facebook. Now, there are some free options out there. There are some paid options. We're using a paid option that's a little bit more advanced, but it's actually a very good option. And if you're very serious about doing Facebook Lives, it's something you'll want to look into. But the first thing I want to talk about is a product called OBS, which is the Open Broadcast System or Open Broadcast Software. And you can get it at obsproject.org or .com. I believe either one works. And what this software does is it interfaces with Facebook, and it allows you to bring in video, graphics, music, things like that. So you can record your screen. It doesn't have super advanced things like we're showing you with our live broadcast here, but you can definitely broadcast from your webcam or from multiple webcams. You can add graphics over your video, so you can put in a lower third. You can also add things like music. You can put backgrounds. Again, you can do screen capture. So if you're trying to do a training, you could show your webcam, switch, and actually do a transition and show your screen, the software, the website, whatever it is that you want to teach about. And now you've got basically almost like a webinar type platform that goes directly out to Facebook. Now, the great thing about this is you don't have to go just to Facebook. You can also go to YouTube Live. You can also go to other streaming services as well. But in this case, we're going to talk mostly about Facebook. So that's OBS. It's a pretty easy product to use, inexpensive, has a lot of great features. Again, you're not going to do super advanced video techniques in it, but you can do a lot of cool stuff. You could add opening graphics, opening animations, things like that, and bring them in as video clips. You can also stream existing movies. So and let me clarify by movies, I'm not saying show the latest Star Wars. What I mean is if you've created a video, for instance, let's say you've created a video for a local business, well, you can run it through OBS, and OBS will stream it live to Facebook playing that video. So it's a very effective way of getting things out there. And the great thing about it is, as we've talked about many times before, Facebook Live gets more views. It gets more eyeballs. And the main reason being is that Facebook wants you to get more eyeballs because they're trying to promote the platform, which benefits you. Now, when we talk about some of the more advanced things, there is another software that works very similar to OBS, and that's Wirecast. To me personally, if you're going to use Wirecast, I don't know why you wouldn't just go with the free option of OBS. OBS is very good, and it looks similar to Wirecast. It works similar to Wirecast, and Wirecast may have a few more features, but not enough to justify the large price tag. So I would stick with OBS there, but if you do need some of the advanced features they have on there, it might be a good choice for you. And if you want to test it out, you can actually get a free version of it to stream to YouTube, so you can get used to the software. If you like the software, then you can buy the upgrades to start streaming to places like Facebook. And that way you'll at least know how it works before you do that. So I would check that out as well. You can search Wirecast and you'll be able to find that anywhere. And again, YouTube gives that out specifically for free for their video live streaming for their live streaming software. Okay, so let's talk about some of my advanced things. Now, like I said, we've got a system where we're doing a very news-like double screenshot with video on either side. We've got the live date and time. We've got logos in the corner. We've got news streaming underneath at the bottom. And the way that we do that is with a software called Mimo Live, M-I-M-O. It's a terrible name, but it's a great software. It used to be called Boinx TV, and it's produced by a company called Boinx, B-O-I-N-X. And what it is, first of all, is a Mac-based software, so you do have to have a Mac. You can't do this on a PC. There are some other options we can talk about for PC, but they're a lot more expensive. With this software, I believe you can get it for a couple $100s, and there's different options depending upon what tier you want. You can do a monthly payment fee, I guess, as well. I'm not positive on that, but I believe they offer that, some sort of payment plan versus just a one-time cost. But what it does is it allows you to have a very TV news-like control panel. So inside of OBS, I've got things like, well, I've got my sources, which would be like cameras. You can use your iPhone, your iPad. You can use microphones. You can do screen captures. You can do entire window captures. You can add graphics. You can add animations, all those kinds of things. And then you create what are called layers. And the layers would be, for instance, in the case of our video here, one of the layers that we're using is called interview. And it puts the two boxes with the two different people on the screen. So that's one layer. Another layer would be the news crawl at the bottom. Another layer would be the time at the top. Another layer would be the graphic at the top. Other layers could be over the shoulders. If we were doing, I can actually switch this live. So if I want to switch to just me, I can do that. If I want to switch to just Steve, I can do that. And if I want to go back to the AB shot, I can do that as well. all live on the fly. And the cool thing about it is we can add all sorts of other graphics. And so live on the fly, if I switch back to me, I can also bring in another graphic over me if we had one, and I actually don't have one to show right now on this particular setup. But you can do that all from right inside the software, and it's actually surprisingly easy to do. You can also control your audio. So if I want to shut Steve off, I can click one button, and no matter what he does, nobody will hear him. So.
Oh, don't tell my wife about that.
I know, right? And nice, the click of a button, it just shuts you down. It also plays all of our theme songs and things like that right at the touch of a button. So it's very, very easy to be able to do that. And again, you can check it out. Just look up Mimo Live. We'll put a link to it in the show notes, but you want to check it out. And the cool thing is, if you're planning on doing Facebook Lives and you're planning on taking it seriously, and you're not a Mac guy, well, this might be an opportunity to buy a secondhand Mac, or maybe pick up one of the more powerful, smaller Macs. You do need some power. If you buy a 10-year-old Mac, you won't be able to run it properly. It's not going to run at the right speed because it does take a lot of GPU and a lot of CPU to be able to do all of this. So you do want something fairly powerful, but the great thing is the amount of power needed changes depending on how much you're doing. So if you're keeping it fairly simple, just doing your, a web camera shot of yourself and maybe putting in a lower third in there and maybe you're, an over-the-shoulder shot, that's not going to tax it too much. You can probably get away with that, and it'll work pretty well for you. In fact, the biggest problem with Facebook Live and doing this is more the streaming to Facebook Live really than it is the CPU power to run the software, because Facebook Live is still a fairly low resolution video, and it's it has its bugs. It gets a little jumpy at times and whatnot. So, but I would definitely recommend you check it out. Mimo Live. It's going to make you look a lot better than you would just holding up your phone. So I would check that out. But now let's talk a little bit about cheating the system a little bit, because for some of us, we may not want to spend the time buying all this software. So there is another option for you to be able to stream live to Facebook and look really good, and that is to pre-record your videos. Now, I said stream live, and that's kind of a misnomer because we would be doing a live stream, but we'd be doing a live stream of a previously recorded program. So what I mean by that is take your cameras, shoot a professionally done video, do all of these effects like we're doing here, create a final video for it, and rather than just uploading it somewhere, run it through something like OBS to stream it. It won't cost you anything to do that. It'll look really, really good, and people won't know the difference, especially if you say to them during the actual pre-recorded video, just say to them, hey, if you're watching this live, of course, comment down below. And they're not going to know that, it's a pre-recorded video and that you're just monitoring it, because if you monitor it and answer their questions as they come in, they're not going to know the difference. We told you up front, we're live right now, but how do you really know? Maybe we're not really live. We are. But point being is that you can get away with that.
But we are on a different planet.
We are on a different planet. We are live, but we are live from a totally different planet. So... but that's one of the other options. Now, I mentioned that Mimo Live is a Mac-based software, so it doesn't run on a PC. And I did mention there was other options. Now, this one is for somebody who is really serious about doing Facebook Live, because now you're going to be shelling out about $10,000, and that is to get a product such as, for instance, the NewTek what the heck is it called? Tricaster. The Tricaster is a hardware-based system that will stream out to various locations. Very, very good stuff, but very expensive, and you have to have your own dedicated system for it, and you got to buy all sorts of other peripherals. So it's not the easiest thing in the world to use, but it is very, very powerful. It'll allow you to do the type of stuff that we're doing. And in fact, it'll probably allow you to do a lot more. But even with Mimo Live, believe it or not, you can do things like green screen. So if we wanted to do live green screening, we can do that. If we wanted to do an entire weather forecast, They have the tools in there for you to be able to broadcast the weather. So I'm talking like animated weather maps and 5-day forecasts and being able to walk on green screen and point to the different things, all built within here. So it's a very powerful system. And again, you know, the Tricaster, same thing. Very, very powerful, but very, very expensive. If you want to check that out, it's at newtech.com. You can look it up. Those are the creators of the old video toaster and Lightwave 3D and a bunch of other products. And Tricaster is a brilliant, brilliant product. But again, very, very expensive and standalone. And if you're going to spend that kind of money, or if you're planning on buying a standalone product, you might as well save a few bucks, buy a decent Mac, and just get Mimo Live. It'll save you, you know, it only costs you a third to a quarter of that. So,
Tricaster, is that more like a broadcast TV application?
Yeah, it definitely is. It's a high-end broadcast TV application. But then again, so is Mimo Live. There are people that use it for live broadcast TV.
So like Channel 7's using that Mimo Live, channel whatever can use Mimo Live for their application. But if they want to ramp it up, they'd go Tricaster, for instance.
Yeah, and while in TV studios would have even far more advanced stuff that they're using even, but because they've already got the advanced systems, they're just creating ways to output it. But yeah, the Tricaster is a great little system. Again, it comes in a box that's a pretty good size, and it'll do some pretty neat stuff. Now, one other thing I want to mention, this is kind of one of those honorable mention type deals, is a little camera that I think we've talked about on here before, which is the Mevo, the MEVO, which I actually picked up a couple weeks ago now. And you're not going to be able to do all of your graphics and things that we talked about. However, it is a Facebook streaming camera, and it's a 4K camera. You put it on a tripod or, put it on a table, whatever you want to do with that. And it broadcasts directly to Facebook using your phone, and it allows you to have TV studio-like control. And what I mean by that is, let's say you put it on a tripod, you point it towards two people. What it does is it streams the video to your phone, which then puts it onto Facebook. Now, when you're doing this, you've got an interface on your phone that allows you to zoom in, pan, do all sorts of things right inside there, because what it's doing really is it's taking that giant 4K image and just zooming in on the image digitally. But because it's 4K, even when you zoom in digitally, you're still talking about high definition video. So it allows you to broadcast in high definition. And if you've got, let's say you're doing an interview with two different people, you can click on one person's face and it'll zoom in on that person. Click on the other person's face, it'll jump over to them, slide between the two, and it'll pan across. Spread your fingers out on the screen and it'll zoom out, zoom in. So it's a very, very cool product. Again, you're not going to be able to do all the graphic type stuff that we're talking about here, but it's a very, very good little camera. When we were at Vid Summit, we actually broadcast a few different videos from there showing it off, because I had just gotten it literally that day that I left to come to Vid Summit. So it was the first time I'd used it, and it worked very well. It was very cool stuff. So I would highly recommend you check that out if you're really looking to do some cool stuff with that. So there you go.
That was pretty neat what you did at Vid Summit. I was watching that. So
yeah, it's a very neat little camera, and we discovered something that I didn't know is when you use the camera, if you zoom in on one person, let's say you're doing that two-person interview, like I said, you zoom in on that one person's face. Well, on the camera itself, there's little lights on the top, and it will actually light up showing what it's focusing on. So if you're sitting there looking at the camera and there's two of you, it'll show you in a little red light which person is being focused on. And so you know when you're live. So it's very, very slick. Just a neat little hack that they have on there that works very well. But it's a great little camera. It does a nice job, and it's fairly inexpensive. I think I got it for like $300 or $400. I can't even remember now what it was, but
not bad, not bad. Yeah.
So yeah, It's a lot of fun. So it's good stuff. So there you go. That is our little advanced Facebook Live video course for the day. And we appreciate you guys listening in on that. And if you have any questions, of course, please feel free to contact us back and let us know. I can see there's a bunch of people watching right now, so feel free to comment on that just below the video, and we'll be certain to provide some answers if you have any questions about that.
And it's the radio show about video marketing madness with Ray the Video Guy, and I'm Steve Sleeper on the Show podcast network. And today's show made possible
by freevideoeditor.co, the easy way to get a free high-end video editing system so you can start making some great little videos without breaking the bank. And we even have some great little extras to go along with it, some graphics and things to make your videos even better. But check it out today at freevideoeditor.co. And I want to come up with something and leave off the last M for money. Leave off the last M for movie. I don't know, whatever it happens to be. Something fun there, because it's .co. freevideoeditor.co. All right, with that, we should just shut our mouths and get out of here because we're starting to act a little crazy. So until next time, for Steve Sleeper, I'm Ray the Video Guy, saying be mad about video.
He's Ray the Video Guy, yeah, Ray the Video Guy. His skill is where it's at, even if he's a little fat. He's filled with video expertise and has so much knowledge that you need. His YouTube ninja tricks can make your marketing so sick. He's Ray the Video Guy, yeah, Ray the Video Guy.